feel like your pre-game dancing was not as spirited as it usually is.
It's not. It's fair. I mean, we've been on a hiatus. We've been on a life hiatus. I know the millions of fans have been waiting on with bated breath for the illustrious return. But we are back. Uh, uh, Tuesdays in Delaware. Nat, how are you doing?
I'm all right. Holidays are done, ready for some mid-season morass.
The midseason.
One of my favorite times of the year.
We
Uh,
are we are we are perfectly halfway through the actual season and slightly more than halfway through the fantasy season.
it's when you get
Happy.
to start making up a bunch of trades of who you want and who you want to dump and all of that. So we'll get to that in another week. But
Yes.
yeah, it's a fun time of year, and all of our fantasy teams are starting to show their identity and take shape. And now you've gone from figuring out what you're good at and what you're bad at to like you basically have to tinker around the edges or like try to make drastic moves to rescue yourself.
What a great setup and good tease for the future. For example, my team's raging hot garbage right now, which is super fun. It's been a
Welcome to my life.
blast.
Welcome to this whole season, with the exception of a couple of weeks at a time.
Uh, I I mean I don't like being here. I was very happy where I was, and
Yes, that
I'm
is
not.
generally true. It is better to win than lose.
It's true. I was not prepared for the inconsistency and I would say my presence in the table what'd you say, the middle morass, the
The
morass.
morass.
Yes, in the morass. I feel very much in the morass. Has not moved much, as the fans can see. The league is quite condensed in the middle with Joe running away with it right now, in his capabilities, and then basically everybody else. And then you're not in last anymore. How does
No,
that feel?
I've won a couple games. I'm have being able to field a healthy team that is not like four injured guys and then like six scrubs is helpful.
It does help. You got Triple J back. We commented that before our hiatus. He's doing wonders for you. I do like that first at losing is almost first at losing. That feels good to me.
It's
I
good when
know
names are accurate.
I know Jason will be sad, but there's that. Uh, yeah, I'm not a huge fan where we're going. You're kind of going on a little run. You had your losses, you got healthy, you got a healthy or you said you were leading, but you're not
What?
leading. Well,
I'm down now? When we started, I was up 7-4. We're tight
what?
in like two categories.
You're like
Somebody probably bricked three shots in a row on my team.
you're like lying to me over here. Come on. I was all set up to like pitch it to you, and then you're like, "Whoops." Oh,
See,
it is going back and forth.
now I'm winning.
Live stats. We're doing a live show here. Uh Whereas I have fallen off a cliff. I was kind of bouncing around and I'm getting crushed.
Doing fine. You're just you got some viciously neutral about you here.
uh what I am worried about, as is always the case, is I've now dropped the last in the Roto. Never a good sign. In general, the Roto has become a bit more condensed. So like Joe's winning. Amy was on top for a long time. She dropped down a bit, but it's all
Yeah,
pretty
she's
tight.
one Anthony Davis away from where she was.
Day-to-day Davis. No longer dated. Has she made a move? I think we actually
She did.
noticed
She
that
made a move.
she made a move.
Peter made a move. She made a move.
That's that's oh yeah, she dropped Drummond for Al Horford. An interesting move.
It was the move.
I don't know about that one. And then yeah, like this is otherworldly moves for both
I know
Peter
we're getting into
and Amy
uncharted
Williams.
territory. There's a lot of competitive balance here. Everyone making moves, or at least move.
Or at least move. Yeah, last year I think we went to the end of the season with people with zero moves.
I
You are
am still
still.
the move leader.
Yes, and I am in second, which is not a
Eighth
good sign.
mover.
Uh, it's not. I feel like like Mikey, you and I, granted, are probably always the top three. To be fair, but Jason's
Yeah,
up
these are
there.
the big nerds with nothing better to do. Tier of fantasy.
It's true, and this is why we do a weekly league. Uh, Michael, I feel like Michael had a rough at the beginning, and I feel like both of us pegged Michael for being a good team, and he got out of the gate slow, but he's definitely coming on stronger at the end of the season. I think the Roto is showing that well. Wes Unseld's been there from the beginning, so I feel like teams that we thought should be good are sort of meandering their way to the top.
Yeah,
Uh,
Mikey's got a good like jack of all tradesness where he's not terrible at anything really. He's decent at almost everything.
yes, that is correct. And I am terrible at lots of things, like scoring baskets. My team, my team is so bad at that. Uh, Although Amy's ejection count keeps rising, which is helping me. Actually, three people have three ejections now, which actually has helped my roto
A lot
substantially.
of
I
ejections.
would have been a lot lower. uh, there have been a lot of ejections this season. I feel like that's actually playing a bigger role, even more than triple doubles, because like there have been everybody's. I think that, like they're the big triple double makers, but everybody's had a couple, which
Refs
is a
feeling themselves. That's why.
reps feeling themselves. Explain.
Well, they're just I don't know. They just seem extra salty this season. In almost every game I've watched, it feels like they've been much quicker on technicals and things like that. Not even for like notorious technical guys either. Like, Nurk gets them a lot because he's a mouthy SOB. But even
And
like
soft.
just like a random guy will like look at a ref without even saying anything and get a technical. I've seen a lot of times. So I think I don't know what grumpy ref season or something.
I'm generally pro quick technicals, uh, because like there's too much John. There's too much silly, boring jawing in the NBA. And so like I think that like I don't mind them tamping it down a bit.
I am
Uh,
not. They're power hungry.
but I feel the same way about like yellow cards in soccer. Like I want
That was
them.
a really early soccer reference. You
I,
usually take a little
I
longer.
haven't had a soccer reference in many shows.
We haven't had a show in many weeks. You don't know. Go back to we'll have to go
We
back
have
and
to
check
run the
the
tape.
tape.
We'll run the tape. We'll
Yep.
get the producers on it. I'll have them tell me while we're continuing. No, because like the right now it's actually it's a huge problem in the game. There's not quick enough yellows. They gotta just get people. But uh, uh, side another relevant sport where this is not a problem is I have mentioned this before, but a hilarious disciplinary decision happened in rugby, in the English Rugby League. A guy got suspended for a month for apparently trash talking another player's mom on the field, and the referee heard it, and he got suspended a month.
I don't know what would happen to your friend group if this was the rule set of life among them. You and Mikey would be like in jail for life.
He also has to talk. He also has to like facilitate youth courses about the sportsmanship of the game.
Yes. Does he also have to apologize to said player's mom?
I think he already did. I think the article
Yes.
said that he already did.
Love it.
It's truly an incredible difference of sports how that's like meted out in various things. God, could you imagine a like anti-trash talking crackdown in the NBA? Like, could you even have games? Like, would it even happen?
It would be hilarious to see them try.
Draymond would just have to quit. He'd have to
I
like
mean,
have
so many guys would be tossed 1 minute into the game. Chris Paul would be tossed 1 minute into every game.
Beverly.
I mean,
Uh,
Dame talks a ton of junk too.
does he?
Oh yeah. There's like the story from early in the season where they played Phoenix and I think it was Aiton was at the free throw line for like free throws to win the game, and Dame walks up behind him and just starts talking to him, and he's just like, like it would be really bad if you
Oh
missed
yeah.
on national TV or some shit like that, and they missed them both, and it was like a whole deal.
I don't believe we discussed this on the show because I believe it was during our life hiatus. Uh, I believe we had the best idea ever. Do you want to share the idea of the adult NBA stream? I
Oh,
believe
where
we
you just mic up everyone,
yes, and
and
that's like a
you have to put it on like HBO
I
because
would I I would pay a premium for the fully live mic'd NBA
Yes.
game experience.
Turner
Absolutely.
Turner own like just HBO is a Discovery property, just like or a Warner Discovery property, just like TNT. So you could option a game or two every once in a while over to HBO and make it happen.
Oh
You
God.
could even
I
put
mean,
like you could even put like a gritty camera filter on it.
they're doing that with like Nickelodeon and the
Yeah,
NFL.
exactly. Like the
Like,
reverse of the Nickelodeon NFL game. By the way, those are amazing. I don't know if
oh,
you've ever watched one. They're glorious.
I
Uh,
only saw some clips when it like they were t like basically the Nickelodeon character, or I think it was a SpongeBob character, was basically like talking shit about a quarterback that was playing really crappy, and it was pretty funny.
it's great.
Uh, I like this view. We've brought this up the last show. It's a fun view in terms of in a similar vein as the Roto about whose teams are good at what. I always like, for example, Chase has never won offensive rebounds, and I've still never lost turnovers. But I've also only won points one round. Uh,
Weird.
so this is a good one. Uh, Actually, somewhat impressive. Peter's never lost free throw percentage, which I feel like is a pretty random week to week category. So that's
No,
actually
not with the
pretty.
people he has. If you
But
look at his roster, he's got great shooters all over. And
uh,
the ones that aren't great shooters don't go to the line.
it's still impressive to me though. Like to be that consistent. You
I
gotta.
think also part of it is like his top guys go to the line so much that
Mm,
it like deludes any misses. Like Trey and Tatum are like just free throw machines. They both go to the line, I think, roughly 10 times a game.
oh yeah. I mean, like yeah, like 290, 310,
And look
huge
at their
attempts,
percentages like
and
86, 89.
yeah. Oh, and Porzingis too. Yeah, those are tons of attempts. Like he,
Yeah,
I bet Trey Young has more free throw attempts than my whole team. Actually, let's
probably
look.
it's probably close.
290 and 310.
Yep.
Let's see. This is a fun.
Live
Uh,
experiment. No.
it is. I mean, it's double, triple my
It's double
best
your
player.
highest guy, but which
Oh,
is
my team's terrible.
Plumley? Mason Plumley? No, it's
Gobert.
Butler. Butler.
Oh, Butler. Yeah, Butler. And man, he usually is better at free throws. He's
He
80% is
missed
bad for him.
buckets of games.
Yeah, but Gobert kills me. He's making me mad this season. Which
His general existence makes me mad, so I get it.
uh, you missed your moving pick. I know you hate the moving picks, and he is
Oh,
a
he is the king. They always say you. I always love the Utah announcers. Every time like something happened, they'd always be like, "Rudy Gobert leads the league in screen assists." They say it every time, and 10 times a game, and it was like that's not a stat. Nobody cares,
he
and
like
they're all illegal picks anyway.
he never stops moving when he picks. It's really
No,
dumb.
he like walks with them. Like he takes like there was one where he took 3 steps, like legitimately 3 steps into the person while the person was on him and still didn't call it.
I wonder how they could automate that. I don't think they can. That's a tough one to automate, but like
He's
some
also in this current game that I'm watching on my phone gotten approximately 11 terrible calls and he drives me nuts. Anyway,
he's in foul trouble a lot because he's bad. I
yeah,
regret
because
that
he
draft pick.
fouls all the time.
Yeah. He's that team is broken. The team is
Both Nurkic and Eubanks have fouled out of this game now. In case you want to know how that's going. Anyway, go on.
I mean, that's like Nurk versus Gobert is just awful basketball. That's just like flailing like waist of a big
Yep.
man versus
Big meaty
flailing
men
waist.
bumping meat right there.
Oh no.
But like not well.
No.
Like it's like
Stop.
really overcooked meat. Like it's well done with ketchup on it.
I can't follow that.
Get it together. Get it together. Come on. Keep it moving.
Uh
Where's your professionalism?
I wasn't ready. I just was not prepared. I
You
was not
always need to
prepared.
be prepared.
I always thank you for that
Don't
statement.
be you're a little rusty. I get it. It's fine.
Oh
You're
man.
fine.
Let's see. I hadn't looked at the run analyzer in a while. Let's see in the past 3 weeks who's if it's normal. Oh, that's pretty good. So like Mikey definitely up on the past 3 weeks. Where are you at? I'm actually not that bad. That's a
I'm
bigger
decent.
spread. Let's see the past 2 weeks. I'm glad I built this into the spreadsheet. I don't know if anybody takes advantage of it, but maybe people do. Oh yeah, you're mid-table there.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
never gonna be super high because I've so completely punted three categories. Like I don't care, but I like Simmons is on my team, so I'm never gonna make free throws. And I have a bunch of and I have a ton of non-scorers and I have a ton of non-shooters.
I like how I'm 10th or worse in half the categories in the past 2 weeks.
Not
It's not-
great. You got
I'm
your
first,
offensive rebounds though.
first in free. I'm like first or last. First in field goal, second in rebs, second in turnovers. That's not great. Oh God. Uh, so since it is mid-season, we won't go through the past weeks we've missed. Everybody knows where they stand. I did want to look. So we have maybe over-indexed on our railing of our league leader Joe. And
Maybe
so
a
I want
little.
maybe a little.
He just is a perfect villain. Sorry, Joe.
But I did want, since it's midseason, I want to see how the draft, how our draft picks stand up against current rankings and or in general midseason expectations.
Well, I can comment on my own, and I think it's the answer is bad.
What I found was I made as the
Oh
fans know
wow,
I love a table.
that is some excellent nerd right there.
Yes, I have
Like
clearly.
I'm like going closer to the screen to squint at it here.
Oh, I it's as big as I can make it. Let me see if I can make it bigger. For the fans at home. And uh, so I munged
There we go.
uh
Okay,
the
I made it bigger.
excellent. I munged the draft, our draft order, the preseason Yahoo ranks are there, and then the current total and average, and see where everything stands out. A few interesting things that I found when aggregating this. The first one is the first round kind of sucked for half of everybody, which maybe isn't that surprising, but the gaps are pretty huge. So like you go from like either people like nailed their draft position or they are tire fires. Some of this is injuries, but like you go like Jokic, Doncic, who are like first and second in the ranks, first and second pick, makes sense. Embiid, he's still in the first round, but not quite his pick. Durant's there, but then the next batch, Giannis, Gobert,
I don't understand
LaMelo,
why Giannis is so low.
he's not having the best season. He's not as efficient and he's not quite at his level of stats if you
Hmm.
look to past seasons. He's still putting up like biggish counting stats, but he's doing it less efficiently. Um, but he's been lower all season actually. It's been kind of interesting. It's one of the reasons Fake It Till You Make It is struggling, in fact, because Giannis is 5 rounds down basically.
Uh,
Uh,
I have the second worst pick. It looks like, or the third worst pick.
you have I LaMelo is that's a little unfair because he was injured. So like I took
But
out some.
Lamelo was also hurt. That's why he's so bad on that pit list. He's been hurt
Yeah,
almost the entire season.
yeah, and so I took out some of the injury stashes and the obvious like injury impacted ones. Like Lamelo's back. It is interesting. His average is actually pretty close. So when he does play, he's good. Similar for you and I, Gobert and Cat. Gobert is actually the worst by total if you remove Lamelo because he didn't start for a long time. Uh, but similarly, like they're still like 2 rounds down by average, but when they play, they're good. They're just not
Cat had
playing.
a really terrible start to the season. He was like awful for the first like 4 weeks. And
Yeah.
then was finally starting to figure it out right as he got hurt.
And then so yeah, so it's basically a hit or miss. Like the first round was basically big hit or miss. Even like Joe, who we started with down at the end, Harden hasn't really played a lot. When he does play, he's high first round, hasn't played a lot, and then he did get a very good pick with
Nailed the
Sabonis.
Sabonis pick for sure.
Definitely nailed the Sabonis pick.
They figured
Uh,
out how to use them. Sacramento's really fun though. Like they're a surprisingly fun team.
Yeah. He
I
that
it's cool because we'll talk when we talk about trades maybe in a couple weeks. Like I remember slamming the bejesus out of that trade, the Sabonis Halliburton trade.
you
How could
did.
they give up Halliburton? But it's actually worked out really well for both teams. Like they are both way better off for it, and it's cool to see that like a trade could actually be mutually beneficial, and it's not just like one team fleeces the other and the other one is trash.
It was also interesting on the Jazz Pacers Jazz Kings played last night or the night before, and
Yeah.
Markkanen like had that crazy buzzer beater. But both of those teams, like, I think are not tanking anymore. Like, well, I mean, the Kings never
No, the
were,
Kings
but
are fifth in the West.
yeah, it's the Tank City Express has like derailed and is like lost and confused now. It's like,
Thank the play in.
you think, or is it just teams turned out to be way better than they expected?
You, if a team like a Utah or a Sacramento has any chance to make the playoffs, they're always going to try. Like those smaller market teams, like do not like to tank as much. It's much harder to get your fans to come back. Um, Utah, that's just not in their DNA. Like I think they would have tanked if they would have sucked really bad at the beginning, but they weren't, so they didn't because they've kind of crossed the threshold of too many wins at this point. Though I don't know what their record is right now. Where are they in the standings?
They're like right below the Kings. They're like sixth or seventh in the West. They're only like a game or two back.
Okay.
Let me pull it up while we're talking. One interesting here, Anthony Davis, who we've railed on as injured, was so good when he was playing that he's still like a round up in value,
Well, that
even
is
though
his value proposition.
it's true.
He's a top five player when healthy, but what this shows is the thing that we always say: availability is the best ability.
Another one that shows that Bam, which he's now proven that for a while. The second round was quite bad for pretty much everybody. You got a good pick with Halliburton, which is not surprising.
He is
Almost
good.
next season, I think he doesn't slip to the second round. I
Yeah, I
think
mean, I was kind of surprised he was there anyway.
yeah, that was
Like when I was pre-reading, he was mostly graded as a first rounder. Probably just the big man stuff in our league pushed him down a couple picks.
yeah, and I think that happened again. And then I like that the third round was almost dead on, not a lot of variance, which is kind of fun. And then after that, it gets kind of wacky. The other slice is if we sort by like most valuable. So this is like
Oh, your
folks who are
fantasy MVP right there, or your
yes,
draft win, whatever.
yes. So Claxton, uh, I I have to say, like I remember like passing on him because I was like, there's no way anybody's gonna get time on these Nets and they're a tire fire. But like that was me, and I hate the Nets. Like, did everybody think that? Like, I don't
I thought that.
remember.
I thought like that he was not going to play a whole lot because him and Simmons weren't going to coexist.
Right.
So
Yeah.
both of them would play, like Simmons would play like 30 minutes or whatever, and like six of those would be with Claxton, and then the rest of the time that he was off the game would be Claxton's only time in, and it only equated out to like 22 minutes or something. Also thought that team was going to be a tire fire. So, and they're not. They're very good now, which
Yeah,
is
it's really
sad, but
sad.
also impressive.
Didn't they win? Are they still on the winning streak? Didn't they win like
They've won
11 or
12 in a
12?
row.
God damn it. Yeah, that makes me sad all around.
I mean,
Uh,
Claxton is maybe the biggest out non-Durant reason why, on like from a real perspective. That team was so horrific on defense last year. He's like single-handedly rescued it.
I've admittedly not watched any Nets games in a long time, so I am unaware of their improvement there.
Yeah.
That's
They
unfortunate.
the fact that they've kind of figured out how to put Simmons and Claxton on the floor at the same time has been like the thing, because now you've got hit Durant, Simmons, Claxton all on the floor together. That's like three really huge dudes who are really good at defense.
Yeah, that
And
makes
that's
sense.
kind of been that's what's kept them from being like the worst defense. Like they're like a top 10 defense of the last 2 months. And I think those three guys being able to be on the court together is why. Anyway,
I don't want to talk more about the Nets. That makes me sad.
yeah.
The
Me too.
other big winner. So we've always posited that as we've railed on Joe, and maybe too much now with this data. So Markkanen down number 9 is a big win. We've talked about before, but not as big as some of these other. Brooke Lopez, friend of the show,
Flash
uh,
Mountain,
number 2. He's having a hell of a season.
leading the league in blocks, I believe.
Claxton,
Oh, second in the league in blocks then.
yes. But then a bunch of fun other guys. Okongwu, Oubre I think I just hurt though. And then Lowry, Vanderbilt I think was a very good pick that turned out to be surprising to me, but he's been crushing this season.
I'm a big Vanderbilt guy in real life.
But
You know,
all of
also
these,
a big Vanderbilt guy in real life, Damian Lillard. He's like a huge fan of him. He like whenever people ask him who he wants to play with, he's always like one of the 3 guys on his list. It's really interesting.
interesting. I do like that most of these all came in like the 11th round or later.
Well, yeah, you can't have hundreds of pick value without
Sure.
it being late.
But even like down here, like there's no like you have to go pretty far down before a
So
higher
Trap Snaps was the best early pick if you go down low.
crap snaps and Shea.
Shea
That
was still like
it's a
what
fifth
round
round,
was he picked in?
fifth round, and
Okay,
he's delivering fifth pick
first
value.
round value.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Alex Shea and Crap Snaps.
So yeah, that's 10 feet off Beal had also doing pretty well in this department. You'll notice the only person I have in here is Terry Easton, who I didn't draft. I could not recompile the original draft
I
team.
drafted him.
Yes. So like I didn't even draft him, and I haven't played him even though I picked him yet. I got nobody up here, and then you got Duran, who you didn't draft either.
I did not draft, but I've had him for a few weeks now.
This is on total. What's interesting is if I go to average, it changes a little in an interesting way. Oop, that's the wrong way. Jared Triple J comes up here now.
Yeah.
So that was a very good pick for you.
He is good. Although his fouling is like ridiculous. He fouls so much. I'm glad fouls are not a negative stat on
He does foul a lot.
He would be like 400th in the rankings if that were the case.
I also like so Markkanen also moves up here, so it's a little more reflective of that value.
Takes
and then
the
you see
injuries out a little bit.
Yeah, it takes the injuries out, and then you see some other folks jump in, like Wiggins, which is interesting. It means he just hasn't been playing, which I didn't realize.
Right now.
OG, same thing. Like that. Oh God, the Raptors.
Hero is surprising. He's been good.
Yeah, he's been because he's had so much playing time. Like he's not even a 6-man anymore. He's just like the starting guard.
He's just like the only person who can stay in the lineup.
Yeah. Both those teams, the Heat and the Raptors, are especially frustrating because like they are critical to my success, and both teams are quite broken right now. And it's very
I don't
upsetting.
think the Heat are not broken. Butler just is in and out a lot.
They're
on their way. They're starting to make moves, I think.
They're fine. It's same thing though. Like when they have the whole team, they're good. Yeah. They just never put out the whole team on the floor. Like
they're Clippers East.
Yes.
For sure.
That's the best take. That's correct. I love that. And then you also see like there's definitely the injury story. Who else?
You got your high caliber role players and things like that.
Randall's an interesting one. He's on total, he's negative. On average, he's positive.
I don't think he's missed a game.
Really?
Or maybe that's not it. That can't be the other way around.
Yeah, that'd be the other way.
Yeah.
What else is interesting? And then Westbrook, this is funny because he was picked so low. Mm-hmm. He's still got a high number, but it's still only 3 rounds up, even though he's actually been playing like crazy good.
Benchbrook has been a lot better.
Ooh, Benchbrook, love that.
I don't think I'm sure someone's already said that before, but I haven't heard it anywhere.
And then the last thing.
Oh yeah, let's go backwards. Like who are the worst?
Okay, so the worst on total. Yeah, this gets a little wonky because of like proper injuries, so it's a little hard to find good people. Like Ja's got a lot of ejections, so like his
also
ranks
missed a ton of time.
So his rank's really bad, which is kind of funny. Poole, same on the ejections. Let's go clear some of those out. Kawhi
played at all.
Unsurprising.
Though he's been good when he plays, at least.
Ingram. So yeah, this is mostly injuries.
People. It's just injured people. So there's not anything there. to look at.
I'm trying to, yeah, it's a little tougher on the bottom side. Barnes, who I dropped, well, made me happy, was bad. Yeah, and then down here, so like actually, oh, Paulo, not so great, but he was
He
hurt.
missed a
But
lot of time
average
too.
though is also not great. So like he's basically the same for both. Uh, Nance not so good. Trey, I think Trey is a good one that's like should like legitimately bad. Like he is much worse this season and inefficient. Like he is way below his draft value.
He's just not
Uh,
shooting super well.
mm,
And
uh,
I think he is trying to figure out how to not be alpha dog all the time, and that's a hard adjustment to make.
yeah, for sure. And then the last thing is I also did like just preseason. So like for pickups, this is basically a pickup check of like free agents.
Ah,
Uh,
Mason Plumley.
yeah, my literal best player right now on my team is Mason Plumlee. Ah, it makes me so sad.
I've got
Also,
four guys in the top 16 there, or
uh,
five guys in the top 16 there.
do you? I didn't notice that. Yeah, you got Duran. Oh yeah, look at you, Bull, Looney. Yeah,
Yeah,
you got
this
a
is a
whole
sign of
army.
a bad team. That's what that is. It's a sign of a
You
team
think so?
that was scrambling and was like, okay, well, just throw it at the wall and see what sticks. That's the 28 moves right there.
I think that's correct. I like that Steven Adams is up here. Uh, who is also up on the draft side. So like that's a double good story. Who's the most? Trying to find another interesting one. That wasn't drafted. So let me do this. Let me clear.
How much time did you spend on this? Just curious.
I don't know. Like 3 hours?
Wow, impressive. I appreciate your commitment.
Uh, Not that bad. I mean, like I have learned the vagaries of pasting data out of Yahoo at this point. That is, it
What a
goes pretty
tremendous
fast.
skill to have.
It is I say this at work, not to bring work. People very undervalue the skill of copy and pasting quickly, so that you don't get mad and you don't think about like, oh, I could do this some other way. It's like, no, just copy and paste fast. Like you've got to do it once in a while. Like just do
I
it
was really
fast.
preparing for you to say some other sort of like nonsense work term compared to what like you usually do.
Ooh, I like how this like stacks stuff up. Yeah, look at you. You got like four guys. Uh, uh, Joe's also up there. Man, I drafted Gafford and I dropped him. He's still not doing that
He
super
might
great.
win the most dropped picked up and dropped award this year.
Probably. Naz is up there. Nick Richards. Who's Nick Richards? I don't even know who that
Hornets.
is. Oh God, Hornets.
He's the
Uh,
backup.
so yeah, interesting. It's mostly the teams of the moves, I guess, is really what this is showing.
Yeah,
So it's
that
maybe
makes
not
sense.
that
Throw it
interesting.
at the wall and take the ones that work.
So yeah, so this was interesting. I don't think it tells. I mean, it's not like the most useful, but definitely shows like there's a mix here of like good and bad drafting. That's not like as obvious as I would have thought. But does show like the first round is basically like setting the good teams and the bad teams, just whether or not like the first and second round picks like panned out, which is
Yeah,
again,
there's an adage in fantasy sports that you can't win your league in the first round, but you can lose it.
I do like that. I think that's 100% correct this year, especially.
In the on
Uh,
the football side, I am like 1,000% on losing it in the first round. I do it every single year. Like I am legitimately cursed.
who'd you what was your fail this year?
Cooper Cup, who
Did
was really good, but then went out in week 10 and was out for the season.
I do have to say Cooper Cup is a really good sportsman name. Um,
Yes.
like an
He's also
all-timer.
really good and fun and went to Eastern Washington. So like can root for him.
I remember that he won the Super Bowl because
Yes,
that's all I know about
he did.
football
He did.
because it's not a good sport. What any other thoughts or views on this that you want to see while we
No, I think I've spreadsheeted enough for one day. The
As they
number
say,
of tabs I feel like is grows every day, like at the
yes.
bottom there. Like we're gonna get to a point somewhere down the line where like you go to it and then you scroll and like 20 of them fly by before you get to the one you want.
I'm waiting. Here's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for some like fantasy person, I don't know, at Yahoo to like find our videos and be like, this guy has this crazy
We need
spreadsheet
him.
who's built his own roto, and then they're gonna give me some money for my spreadsheet. That's like I have a delusion of grandeur there.
I love it.
Uh, if there's any
Well, you
fans
probably
out
need
there,
to like make our videos not private then.
they're not private. They're public.
Oh, okay, cool. That explains
We
all the hate mail I get.
what's the best hate mail you've got?
You're really bad at this. That was the no.
That's no, not the mail you get from your son. What's the actual hate
Oh,
mail?
that's who I get the hate mail from.
Oh, I
He's a
love it.
chief hater.
He is a chief hater. I'm gonna share an anecdote because I'll never forget this now. I did visit the lovely Levy household as part of our life hiatus, and when your when your
I already
son
know what
went,
the story
when
is.
your son goes, I can't even tell the story.
I appreciate how tickled you were by it.
Oh, I can't even. No, it's too much now. I can't even tell the story
I don't
because
remember the context of what he was talking about. Do you remember that? Because I
it
could.
was it was the animal versus animal book. It
Oh
was
yeah,
like
it's like who do you want to win, Falcon or Eagle or whatever?
yes.
Spoiler alert.
No, spoiler alert. He covers his
Yeah.
mouth. Says
Oh yeah, he
spoiler
does like
alert.
announce it, like spoiler alert. Yeah, he does that one a lot.
Amazing. Amazing. I think that's as good as place to any. We will a couple we are still owed a visit from Michael to talk to Magic, who are still plugging along. And then a couple weeks, I know you're excited for the midseason trade tool,
Yeah, I
whatever
just
it
want to
is.
make a million fake trades. That's all I want to do.
So that we got that in a couple weeks. In this midseason morass, we still make it fun for the fans.
We
Uh,
also need to take a visit to Tank City soon. See how that's
yes,
going.
I think maybe next week. Just maybe next week we talk about we see how Tank City's going.
All right,
A little
I'll blow
different
up
than
the
we said.
Bulls for you, and you can tell me how you feel.
Oh man, I I'm gonna let that one lie because I can't even start now. It's too late. It's too late.
It's a preview. Where this is a cliffhanger.
I I hate you.
Tune in next week for
They're so
while I piss off Tezak about the Bulls.
God. They're so bad. Ugh. Ugh.
Dance